S&P Plus has LSU losing 30-28. Now, I really don't care what a computer says. I don't care about S&P Plus right now here in the opening week of the season, but I'm glad you put it in there because what if LSU's up 28-27, Clemson drives, kicks a game-winning field goal, and LSU loses a heartbreaker 30-28 on the road for a team that could be potentially the best team in the country, right? At home. You know, when you're at home, you get a little bit more juice. We all know that. And Taylor asked the question, what would the fan reaction be? It's a great question because of everything I just laid out about Clemson and them being really good, and Cade Klubnik, Heisman Trophy type guy, and, you know, they made the playoff last year. But I just don't know if it matters how you lose. Like, unless you get blown out. And that's the obvious statement. But I think LSU fans want to win so bad because being 0-5 in the last 5 season openers, I really, truly don't know what the reaction would be. Because if you had not lost your last 5 openers, let's say you've even, you know, if you've been 3-2 in those and you lose a game like this, then you're like, okay, you know what? Okay, all right. You still can go 10-2. You still can make a playoff, and then you're trying to find ways to make it. But I just think because you've lost the last 5, it's like, I don't know that any score is going to make any LSU fan have any warm and fuzzy feeling.
No, I think 5 opening game losses in a row kind of takes all the excuses away. Like there's no moral victory coming out of this weekend. Except the only moral victory is like season's not over. SEC play starts in a couple of weeks. Blah blah blah. But from a fan base, no, I think everybody's gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I think so. There, and I honestly I get it. I do. I get it. And if this was another team, maybe I'd have a different feel. But I would understand the frustration. And again,
if you were like 3-2 in opening games the last 5 years, you have a little bit different conversation. But it's 0-5. Like this has become a thing.
Yeah,
it's like
there's
a monkey on your back.
It's
a big thing. And now you're playing the best team that you've played in any of these 6 opening games in the last 6 years. So yeah, there is no middle ground in this one. It's either win or lose. People are happy or very upset. Yeah, there's no if like I said, if we were 3-2, even like 2-3 in the last 5 games, like maybe there is, man, we played really well. That's a really good team, and we're going to see them later. We will see them in the playoffs again. I can't wait to see that team. There's not going to be any of that if we lose, like a close one.
And Ghost South brings up a great point. Every SEC school has a winning record in the last 5 openers outside of LSU. Even Vandy has gone 3-2. I mean, Vandy kind of turned the ship around last year, obviously. And look, a lot of times we're playing, Marshall, like Georgia is this year. They're playing directional school U. Mm-hmm. Missouri's got a game tonight. Same situation. You have not done that, to your credit, which I still love. You've, Mississippi State, Florida State twice, USC, now UCLA, but still you were going out there, and that was one of their better teams. Not going to call them a great team by any means. I mean, they were an okay team. But it doesn't matter. Like, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter who you're playing. It doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter who they have on their sideline. Like, LSU fans are going to be incredibly upset if you don't win this game.
That's why college football is such a beautiful thing.
Now,
if it happens, if something crazy happens, we're going to come here Monday and tell you it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
No, I'm going to break down how it happened. Now, the good thing is, if you do lose this game, it's not like in the years past where you don't have a chance to get a massive win a couple of weeks after that. Like the last couple of years, like you look at the schedule, it's like, oh, man, this thing's going to be on like just neutral until you get to this game that's in week 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's just going to feel boring. Yep. You do have Florida on September the 13th, and that's win or lose, right? Can't be too high, can't be too low. So the schedule is completely different this year and how it's kind of formatted than in years past as well.
Yeah, it was, and I don't even really want to dive into this too much because I don't want to even put these words into the air. I don't want to talk about that situation of having to have that bounce back game or that get right.
Well, this
game,
is based off the S&P Plus prediction. This is not us predicting that.
It's true. I don't like these robot predictions. Man, I'm listening to a lot of sports radio right now. A lot of sports talk. I haven't heard one person pick LSU in the entire country of the United States of America. Not one person.
Yeah, and it all depends on who you're listening to. I was listening. I saw a clip. I wasn't listening to it. My guy Danny Cannell and Bud Elliott. I forget what their podcast. I think Cover 3 might be. They do a great job, but they're both ACC leans, and they made it sound like it was this incredible hill too high for LSU to climb, and that was surprising to me. And I'm with you. Most people you talk to, they're picking the home team. They're picking Clemson. Clemson made the playoff last year. They're going off the trend of LSU being 0 for their last 5.
And not only are they picking them, most people I hear talking are taking them to cover -4, which is wild to me as well. They must not know. They must not have never heard of the Nuss Bus. They must not have never ever heard of the star position. It's going to dominate Klubnik's face. I don't know. I don't like these robots.
So Greg inside the Bayou Ford chat was talking about the radio he was listening to, and I guess it was a Clemson lean, was talking about the game plan was to spread it out and pick on Harold Perkins. I also heard the same thing from the Cannell and I forget podcast that I was listening to, spread it out, pick on Perkins in coverage. But as Greg points out, back in 2023, he was the highest graded coverage linebacker in the SEC. So there's a reason why he's playing the position that he's playing.
And you can do that, but based on their film, they spread it out, and most of their deeper throws, deeper shots that I've seen, at least from their film from a year ago. Now things could have changed. Most of their deeper shots are outside towards the sideline. Maybe some seam throws towards the middle of the field, but there wasn't a ton of deeper shots over the middle of the field. In fact, I saw Klubnik miss multiple reads where he had people open down the middle of the field, which is normally your traditional place to take advantage of linebackers. Now, when he's in the slot playing, whatever position you want to call it out there, and you're playing curl flat, you're playing monument defenders, you're playing in zone coverage. There's only so much you can do to pick on somebody like that, because you're just trying to, when you got those guys in zone coverage, you're trying to high load them. You're trying to make them make a decision. You're trying to make them play the curl flat, go one direction, throw the other direction. So it's really not really based on personnel at that point. Of course, there's people that are better at playing it than others, but they don't do a whole lot of that, of trying to affect I call it the nickel, usually the guy over a slot in 11 personnel. They don't do, they take quick hitters. They have the slot guy run a little 5-step stop route, hitch route, whatever you want to call it. They do a lot of that. But man, Clemson wants to run the ball. I was watching film of them. They run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
They run, pass a decent amount of times. It's heavy play action. They run it with Klubnik, but they pull those guards. I think I told you the other day, the game I was watching, they ran power probably 8-9 times in the first quarter. None, and then they ran all zone in the second and third quarter, and then back to 8-9 powers in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It was weird how it was all right, there's no powers in the second or third quarter.
And to give you an example of how many powers that is, that's probably it is. That's more than LSU ran all last season.
Right.
I think they ran 12 powers total last year.
Yeah, so you look at these high-powered offenses across the country. You talked about Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago. And so it's the same with Clemson. They want to run the ball.
Yeah.
They are going to try to run the ball. And then, of course, they're going to spread out. But they rely on those receivers that are all returning, by the way, to make really big-time one-on-one 50-50 catches. And they did it a decent amount last year. So our DBs, they just have to be really good at the point of contact, high point of the ball, and making plays on the ball. But, as far as like trying to isolate Harold Perkins, I mean, I don't see him being lined up man-to-man coverage versus a receiver a lot. It might happen where they confuse us on a formation and they do some shifts and motions where it ends up being like that, but it's not going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
The goal cannot be, if you're going to put Harold Perkins out in the slot, to get him manned up on a wide receiver running down the field.
Yeah.
Not to say he can't do that and be successful a couple of times, but eventually, if you do it too many times, it'll bite you.
Yeah.